Hey guys, what's up? My name is Michael Naji. So if you normally read my blog, you'll know that this is a first. I have decided to switch to quick videos rather than you guys having to read the blog. If this is the first time that you tune in, thanks so much for tuning in. So I basically work in digital marketing field. I specialize in influencer marketing and brand advocacy programs. And today I want to talk to you about choosing the right influencer for your brand or for your brand campaign that you're working on. So there's a few different things that you need to take a look at when you're working with influencers. I think the first thing is that you need to have a clear objective of what it is that you want to achieve out of this collaboration. Because this does affect the type of influencers that you're going for. Are you looking to achieve top of mind awareness, which means you're going to be working with influencers that have a really high follower base? By high follower base in the Middle East, I'm speaking around 500,000 and higher, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. The main objective of working with them is to do product placement or a certain campaign that will spread more awareness, because what you're really trying to do is reach more people. Or are you trying to increase your sales, or you're trying to switch up your brand image or do something in specific? Usually if your objective isn't awareness, what I would suggest is that you go with tier 2 influencers who have a bit less followers, but they have higher engagement rates, and at the same time they actually put in the time and the effort to be able to reply to their fans and interact with them. Because we all know that people who have 1 million, 2 million followers, 90% of them don't put in that time and effort anymore because they have gotten to that much followers, and the amount of comments that they get is insane. So that's number one, is have a clear objective in mind, and based on that it'll help you steer you in the right direction to choose the right influencer. Number two, please, I beg you, keep your personal opinion out of it. I have seen so many clients that end up, mixing their brand and their personal opinions into each other and then choosing the incorrect influencers for a campaign. What you think of that influencer really does not matter. Does he or does she fit into your brand or not? That's the most important thing. So that takes me to number three. Does that person, that influencer, and their content as well, their lifestyle, does it fit into your brand personality or not? If you are creating a persona for your brand or someone who would represent your brand, would that be the person? If the answer is yes, then you've chosen the right influencer. If the answer is no, then go back to mapping and find another influencer again. Number four, you need to take a look at their follower base, at the demographics of their follower base. It doesn't matter who he is and if that influencer fits within your target audience, but what matters more importantly is the people that consume that influencer's content. Do they or do they not fit into your target audience? Now, there's more than one way to find out. Sadly, there's not as much tools as we'd like to see in the market when it comes to analyzing demographics for Instagram, Twitter accounts, Facebook pages, YouTube channels, and all of that. But there are some tools that are free, and what they do is they basically take samples of that audience. Let's say you have 30,000 followers. They take 10% of that audience, a random sample, and based on that give you insights and demographics and analytics for that person's followers. And now the more accurate thing is the paid tools, which are a lot more expensive. Some of them charge a one-time fee per account, and some have a monthly subscription with a certain limit. And what that does is, let's say I have those 30,000 followers, it actually analyzes the entire 30,000 follower base, and it comes back and gives me more accurate and detailed analytics, such as their average income, what do they work, what other brands do they follow, what age groups they are they single, are they married, how many kids do they have if they're married. A lot more details to be able to map and choose the correct influencer based on the target audience for your brand or for the product that you're selling or for that campaign. So that's number four. Number 5, what other brands have these influencers worked with? I really love to take a look at their profiles, sort of analyze them. Now this is something that is done manually because the quality of the automated tools still isn't up to notch, under my standards at least. So take a look at what other brands have they worked with. Have they worked with brands that are on the same level of you? So for example, let's say the easiest one for people to relate to is the automotive industry. So let's say, have they worked with Kia or have they worked with Audi? And let's say you're Mercedes-Benz. Are they on the same level of brands that you are? Because sometimes if they work with a brand that's a bit not in the same brand image that your brand is, it could not go too well or it could backfire. And then have they worked with competitor brands? This is a huge issue, and I honestly do not understand what the influencer or their managers are thinking when they go and work with different competitors. So let's say you have X coffee brand and then you work with Y coffee brand. That just contradicts you as an influencer. So if any of you are influencers that are listening to me, please stick to brands that you actually love and don't just sell yourself and your soul for the money. So yeah, just take a look at what brands they've worked with and see if it fits in. If they've recently worked with a competitor, I wouldn't advise you to work with them, just for the main reason of they're gonna look bad and it's gonna seem very obvious that it's paid and it won't get you the results that you want, just from my humble experience in influencer marketing. Number 6, what I like to do is I like to take a look at their engagement rates and the quality of the engagements that they get. So what I really mean by that is I like to go ahead and take a look at how many likes, how many comments, how many reposts, how many retweets based on what platform it is, how many views they got, and sort of, take a look at rough estimates of their engagement rates and how that's doing. Do they have high engagement rates? Do they have low engagement rates? What are the quality of the engagements? What type of comments do they get? Do they reply back to comments? Are they friendly with their fans? Or are they not? This all depends obviously on the brand and what your brand is. Let's say if it's an everyday, down-to-earth brand, I want influencers who actually interact with their followers. So that's another thing to look at. And the last and final thing that I usually look at is what do other people say about them. Look, the influencer marketing industry in the MENA region is very small. People know people who know people. It is very easy for you to ask, and I think this is one of the most underestimated things when it comes to influencer marketing, is that as an agency, as a brand manager, when I go to work with another influencer, I usually, if I have 1% of a brain, I actually like to ask other brands or brand managers or agencies or people that I know in the marketing industry, have you worked with this influencer? What do you think about him or her? Because this is so important, because I have worked with influencers. I actually work with influencers on a daily basis. This is my 9 to 5, and the amount of times that I have seen influencers not be cooperative, not be professional, not be on time, not deliver correctly, and not hold up their end of the deal is countless. And I basically have a rating system, so every influencer that I deal with gets rated based on different criteria, which I can probably share with you in another video. But based on that, I recommend them. So a lot of times other friends that work at agencies or brand managers come to me and tell me, hey, we have this campaign, who would you recommend? Guess what? The person who wasn't responsive, the person who was late, who didn't deliver on time, who wasn't cooperative, who wasn't flexible, usually isn't recommended. So that's really important, and it's very underestimated. Just because they fit into your brand doesn't mean he is the right person to choose. Because if other people said that they didn't get the results, or that they did get results but they weren't cooperative, you'll end up working with someone who just has a lot of stress and adds to your plate. So these were the top 7 things that you need to do when choosing the right influencer. And for all the influencers that are watching this, these were basically the top 7 things that brand managers and agencies take a look at when they're choosing an influencer. So keep those in mind. I hope you liked this video. I hope it was short and sweet for you. If you did, please do leave a like or a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts of my first video, and if there's any certain topic that you want me to discuss or talk about, please do let me know as well. Alright guys, until next time, take care.